that?
Okay, yeah, okay. Here's what Solomon is saying. All right. That you heard the term, you reap what you sow.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. Basically it is. That if you do evil, you're gonna get evil. Okay? To get evil, if you do evil, you're gonna get evil. He's saying it in the sense that most people don't consider burning in hell to be good, right? So right, am I right?
Right.
So that's the point he's making. That if you do evil, you get evil. If you do righteous, then your hope is that what? You will end up getting everlasting life and get the best of what God has to offer. Okay? Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that have understanding. But that which is in the midst of fools is made known. Okay? Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that have understanding, but that which in the midst of fools is made known. Okay? And all that's saying as simple as this, is that wise folk know how to keep their mouth shut, and fools don't. Right? So when you're wise, you hold it in here. When you're a fool, everything comes out here. Okay? And most of you know that that's the truism, isn't it? Because you can't shut a fool up. Right? And that's why everybody knows who fools are. Right? There's an old saying, real old saying that says what? You can keep silent and appear to be ignorant, or you can speak and remove all doubt. Right? And for most people, they won't shut up. That's how we always know who fools are. Right or wrong? Okay, there we go. He said, righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. That's what your mama always taught you right there. That's really basic stuff. That's what your mama always taught you, all right? So what's the cardinal rule? What's the cardinal rule that mamas teach their children? Right? Well, go to the house, stay in the house, right? That's one of them. What's the other cardinal rule? That's the first one. What's number two?
Don't.
Say, be in the house, our feet lights come on. Okay, that's the second one. What's the third one?
Don't embarrass me.
Don't embarrass me. Right? Don't you embarrass me. That's the third, right? Listen, when you go out of this house, you represent me. Okay? And that's all this is talking about. That when, and let's put it in a practical sense, okay? In a practical sense, that applies to us as well, right? If you think about this for a moment, what causes people to want to be in church? Problem.
Going through something.
Going through something? All right, absolutely. Okay, let's make a little clearer then. Absolutely right. What would cause a person to want to come to a particular church? Teaching. How are they going to know about the teaching?
Telling us.
Right.
Here's
What they see.
It's what they see in other people.
Yes.
And what they hear from other people. What righteousness exalteth, right? A nation. It's because it's the people in the nation that cause people to look up to the nation. Right? It's people in the church that cause people to look up to the church. For example, I remember one time, it's been a while back, I went to visit one of our members that was in a nursing home. I'm walking down the hall in the nursing home, and one of the ladies who works there says, "You Dr. Daniels?" And I said, "Yes." "Oh, I've heard so much about you." Oh, because the lady I was going to visit was telling her, her about me. Then she said, "Can I say something to you right quick?" And I said, "Sure." She said, "We got one of your members to work here. Lord, if she ain't that lying to somebody."
Oh my goodness.
Okay. And so we went from I'm a good pastor to all I got was a stream of negative. Because people judge you all the time. They're judging you all the time. And so when people say negative things about a church, they wonder why other people don't want to come to the church. Just like, when I'm counseling, you lovely ladies sometimes. Sometimes when I'm counseling you lovely ladies and who can't get their husband to come to church, you know, when I talk to them, what I find out is this. You done told your husband how all the women in church is evil. And how 3 of the women in church is just whores as they can be. And you done told him, you done came home and told your husband all this bad stuff, and he's sitting home saying, I ain't going to that church.
I know that's right.
I ain't going to church. Not because he don't want the whore, he want the whore. But they don't
He want the more about it.
He want that more about it. But the reason he ain't coming is because you done told him if he come, he gonna be in trouble. Right? Because if he look at her, then he got to fight you when he get home. Right? Or you done told him about how these folk always talking about people. So this thing is, why would I go there when you done told me the folk there got more mess with them than they can admit? I can go to the club and deal with some mess, and I can get drunk when I'm at the club. But I can't do that in the church. So we become, you know, the bottom portion of that, right? We become what? The reproach because of how we deal with things. Now, I know people don't think of spreading stuff as being sinful. Like when you go home and tell somebody something negative about your church, I mean, really be honest with you. Be honest with me. How many of you think that when you tell somebody something negative about your church, you're committing a sin? Be honest. How many of y'all really believe that? No, I know most people don't. Why? That's why they keep on doing it. Because some of you may do stuff you know is sin, but the average person don't think of that as sin. Here's why it is sin. Because, do you know who the Antichrist is? Anybody know who the Antichrist is? Huh? Anybody that goes against Christ is Antichrist. Isn't that what anti means? Against? Now, who's the head of the church? Christ is. So anytime you're talking bad about the church, you're anti-Christ because you're pushing somebody away from what belongs to him. How many of you in here have children? How many of you got children? Now, how did you feel when folks start talking bad about your children?
Oh yeah,
Are you happy? No, even though you know they're crazy. You know they ain't got good sense. You know you want to whoop them all the time anyway. But what you don't want is what? Somebody else talking about it. Right? So what makes us think that Jesus is so happy with us? I'm just so happy y'all talking about my people. I'm so happy to go home and talk junk about my children. But we are his children, right? So when you talk about people in the church, you're really anti-Christ. And anytime you do anything that's anti-Christ, that's sinful. Anytime you go against the will of God, that is what? Sinful. Okay? So from a practical standpoint, you know, just a regular everyday standpoint, our sinfulness brings reproach on the church. Make sense to you?
Yes.
Are you going to stop?
Yes, we are.
Want a whole lot of yes on that. What y'all? Somebody saying what? I'm going to tell it like it is. Right? The king's favor is toward a wise servant. This is for workers. This is for. Did he say yay? Oh, praise the Lord! Look at the little kid. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causes shame. Look at this. This is everyday stuff. This is for all those that work. For all those that are working. Anybody here work anywhere? Right. If you work, this is for you. Okay. This. I don't care how you. I don't care what you do. This is for you. Now I can tell you, as an ex-manager, well, I'm still a manager, you know, but now I'm a pastor of church. I'm still a manager. This is one that that I wish I could get in everybody's head. Everybody's head, because this is so simple. It's so simple. It's scary. Okay. Now here's the deal. If you want your boss to like you, here's what it says: the king's favor is toward a wise servant. If you want your boss to like you, all you have to do is be wise. If you want a promotion, all you got to do is be wise. Then you have stupid people off. But what? His wrath is against them that causes shame. His wrath is against them that causes shame. I can't tell you how many fools always trying to make their boss look foolish. That's the dumbest thing I ever seen, but people do it all the time. trying to show their boss up. If you want your boss to promote you, you got to make your boss look good. Here's how we think about it like this. I ain't doing all that work and they get all the credit. See, you crazy. Right? If you wise, you want your boss to get the credit. You know why? You think other folk ain't watching. You think that your boss peers don't know your boss ain't got good sense. Don't you know who are your peers that ain't got good sense?
Yes.
And so same thing. Your boss's peers know who ain't got good sense. Don't you know your boss's boss know how smart that person is?
Yes.
So they know when somebody else is holding them up.
Right.
And once they know who that somebody is, they're going to pull that somebody right up. Because they know you're the kind of person that will support your boss. But when you're the kind of person that's go to your boss's boss and say, by the way, I just want you to know. You know what your boss's boss is saying? Not today will I promote you, because they're going to be going to my boss on me. Okay? So that's just for working folk to understand. You should always, how many of y'all know what brown nosing is? And most of y'all hate brown noses, don't you? Let me tell you something, I love me a brown nose. And I was a good brown nose too.
I know that's right.
I would tell folk all the time, you just a brown noser. Yes, I am too. Can't you tell? Look at it. Actually, it's a little darker than brown. It's like charcoal almost. Let me tell you something. Any fool that don't make their boss look good is just what I say. A fool. That's what the Bible says. That's what's in there. Your job, listen to me clearly, your job is not to please yourself. That's not why you were hired. Don't tell me what's in your position description. That ain't why I hired you. That ain't why I hired you. Nobody hired you based on doing a position description. Everybody can do the position description. If I got a job open for an accountant and 5 people apply and all of them got degrees in accounting, all of them can do it. I'm hiring the one that got just enough to know that that ain't why I hired you. I hired you to make me look good. That's why I hired you, to make me look good. That's the only why I hired you. That's the truth. If you can't make me look good, you gotta go. Okay? Same thing. It's in there. It's in the book. Same thing I did on my federal government job, the same thing I do in church. I want them to make me look good. That's right. Now, as a general rule, church, y'all make me look good. That's why I got all these accolades from the city of Virginia Beach. Right? That's why I get it. That's why I got it. That's why I'm in a permanent congressional record. Not because of me, because some of you all were smart enough to make me look good. One that won't smart enough?
It's all good.
It better be. All right, any questions about that? But I'm telling you, listen, let me tell you something right now. I'm serious I can be. Verse 35, don't fool yourself now. If you're still working for a living and you got a boss, verse 35, go home and read it again.
You ain't got promotion.
Read it again, work on it. That's right, especially when you got a promotion. Oh, you read it, work on it. Let me tell you something. This is honest to God truth. Anybody can get promoted. You can be as dumb as you want to be. You can get promoted as long as you make your boss look good. That's it. Let me tell y'all this little secret right quick. This is just between me and y'all, okay? Do you know why Enoch gets so much favor with the city of Virginia Beach? I'm going to tell you why, since y'all didn't know.
We make them look good.
Huh?
We make them look good.
Right, we make the city look good. Because see, when we first got here, and for example, when Mayor Sessoms got elected mayor, the NAACP and all the black ministers went to his office and had a meeting. And they laid him out. And they said, because the city of Virginia Beach is not welcoming to people of color. And they want to know, what you going to do about it? They laid him out. I had a meeting with him the next week. I did not attend the meeting when they went because I was busy. So I had my meeting next week, and I came in the office and I said to him this. I said, man, Sessoms, you know, we're new in the neighborhood and we want to help the community. And I said, this is what we want to do. I need you to say it's okay for us to do it. He started crying. Really, he started crying. He said, I thought you came in here to tell me what I wasn't doing. I said, what made you think that? He said, because last week the rest of them came in here. And I figured since you weren't here then, you just came to put your little 2 cents in. I said, no. Ain't why I came. I said, no, we want to make it easy for you to be the mayor. Tell me what I can do to help it, make it easier for you to be the mayor. Because the easier we make your job, the more we're going to grow. That's what I said to him. I left his office and didn't get out of the municipal center, and I get a phone call. And the phone call was from the head of Parks and Recreation. And she said to me, the mayor just called me, I need to meet with you. Just like that. Amen. And ever since then, you know, it is what it is. When you make people look good, when you exalt them, you get blessed. When you bring shame, you get destruction. It's just that simple.
Like when they had the meeting the week before, they should have done the same thing as opposed to shutting them down instead of trying to...
They forgot to read the Bible. Just because you're a minister don't mean you read the Bible all the time. I mean, I tell you that, but they can read the Bible. But sometimes we get so caught up in us, we forget to apply Proverbs. That's why I'm telling you, Proverbs is the book. We forget to apply Proverbs. We get so caught up in us. We get caught up in our own feelings. When you get caught up in your feelings, then you miss opportunities. Remember we said, like when Proverbs said what? Never argue angry. Never argue angry, right? 2 chapters ago. Why? Because when you argue angry, you forget the facts. You argue your emotion. Emotions mean nothing. It's the facts that count. Right? You made me so mad. Well, so what? you making me mad, yelling at me right now. So now we're even now, so let them move on. Right? But you gotta give me the facts. You did X, Y, Z. The question is not did I make you mad? The question is did I do something wrong? If I did something right and it made you mad, it ain't my problem, it's your problem. But see, when you argue emotion, you throw your whole game off. Because now the person's going to see you as what? You're just as crazy as you can be. I did what I was supposed to do, and you mad? You argue the facts, it changes the whole picture, right? How many of y'all have kind of, well, don't say it, but I won't, give you a quick example. It's like when I'm doing counseling with people, okay? For example, I'm counseling people. And I tell people this, stop arguing about how you feel and argue about facts. Because how you feel is irrelevant. See all these ladies fanning in here right now? See how all them fanning? Why do you think they're fanning? What they got to do with what does that have to do with the temperature?
It ain't gonna change it.
As not only that, see, everybody that's fanning says this. Can you change the temperature because it's too hot in here?
Can you change the temperature? It's too hot.
Right, see what I'm saying? But the problem is this, it's not too hot in here.
Everybody's a fan.
Huh? No, it's not too hot in here. You're just hot. I'm not hot.
Right.
See, but if you argue with me and you keep saying, it is too hot, and I say, no it ain't. Yes it is. No it ain't. Yes it is. Well, you see I'm here fanning, so I must be hot. Yeah, but I ain't fanning, so I must be cool. My point is what? See, we are mad, so we're arguing how we feel. Right. But if you go to the thermostat and say, hey, Reverend Daniels, it's 78 degrees in here. Can you turn the thermostat down to 75? See, now we just deal with a fact. And now I can look at them and say, you all right, it is 78 degrees. So let me turn it down to 75. See, when you're mad, you argue emotion. That's why you never argue mad. Right? Yeah, you got it? Okay, all right. All right. Let's go to 15. But you say, boy, Jamie, it's still hot.
She's hot.
But it ain't hot to me.
Of course it's not. With all the fans circulating.
That's what it is.
I feel a fan.
Let's see what the temperature is. According to my watch, it ain't hot in here. Okay, chapter 15. Chapter 15. I remember, is Frank Eason in here? Oh, that's this right there. You remember when your sister got married at my house? You remember that? I'm saying your sister, but really your wife's sister, though, right?
That's why I kind of chuckled.
Yeah, remember that? Remember how y'all told me, it's hot in here. It's hot in here. I say it's hot in here. In here too, Pastor. See, I'm sweating. Well, see, my thermostat in the summer is on 77 degrees.
Like mine.
In the summer?
Yeah, all the time. I know. That's my house.
Yes.
That's my house too. Mine's is
77 degrees. So it's hot in here. It ain't hot in here. You just hot.
Right.
If I was hot, I had sister enough to turn it down to 74.
It's the same thing happened to me too. My kids come to the house and tell me it's hot all the time.
But it won't hot in my house.
77. I don't like the cold. I don't like the freezing.
Well, okay, anyway. Well, she didn't argue. She just reminded me, it's hot in here. Well, I'm going to say the way about real fast. Y'all can get on out of here and go to the mall where it's cool. Do you know, this ain't got nothing to do with this class, right? Let me just throw this out at you. Did you know that the average person, 3 degrees, they can't tell the difference. But if it's 1 degree beyond their comfort point, they'll feel it. The average person cannot tell the difference between 74 degrees and 77 degrees. But if you go to 78 degrees, it's hot in here. And go to 73 degrees, it's cold in here. You know, it's just that 1 degree that triggers you. But it's about 3 degrees that most people can't even tell. So the thing is to find that temperatures that's within the 3 degrees of everybody, and you're good to go. Yeah, that's right. They ain't in Proverbs, but you know, I just have it.
That's good to know. Okay.
It works too. I do with Debbie all the time. It works. Okay, chapter 15. Chapter 15 is another one of those chapters that is kind of disjointed, but once you pull those verses together, it just makes so much sense. I mean, all of it makes sense, but once you pull them together, it makes so much sense, okay? So, we're going to break it down this way, all right? Chapter 15, we're going to look at verse 1, 2, 4, 7, and 23. 1, 2, 4, 7, and 23. Okay? Got it? 1, 2, 4, 7, 23. Because all of them deal with the same thing. Okay? And that's your mouth. All right? And here's what we got. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Verse 1. Verse 2. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge all right, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. Verse 4. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach of the spirit. Verse 7. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the foolish doeth not so. And verse 23. A man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season, how good is it? Okay. All those verses have a simple concept in common, and that is this. Why don't we know how to shut up? Why is it, you okay? Why is it that we have a problem using our mouth to our advantage as opposed to always using our mouths to our disadvantage?
We hadn't learned it, haven't matured.
We have, you know what? No truer words have ever been said. We haven't matured enough to use that concept, okay? All of us know what we don't like people doing to us, but yet we will do the same thing to other people. That mouth, you know. Most people have a problem not giving you back what you give them. In other words, we tend to mimic people in front of us, right? If I come to you harshly, you tend to bristle, get all bristled up and come back at me harshly, right? As if that's going to calm everybody down. When it doesn't, So if I come at you, the wise thing to do is to what?
Verse 1.
Right, verse 1, right? The wise thing is when someone comes at you harshly is to do the opposite. Is to seek to calm them down.
Yep.
Because think about it. You say, no, it don't work. Don't.
It does.
It don't work.
It don't work with the person beside you, it just don't work. Let me tell you something. It does work.
It does.
Because you can't argue with somebody who's not arguing back.
That's right. That's right.
You just can't. Yes.
I shared it. I'm in a women's group, and a young lady said that when she talks to her mom often, that her mom starts to argue with her, and she doesn't know how to refrain from arguing back. And I gave her 2 words to say. Oh, okay. And she said after a while, her mother just hung up, and she was like, well, I don't even want to talk to you because all you have to say is, oh, okay. And there was no argument. I use it at work. I use it at home.
Let me throw...
Oh, okay.
That's a blanket statement.
But he gave you the eye, so let me throw one more in. Because my mother is very confrontational. Very confrontational. Here's what I tell my sisters. Why do you have a problem saying to her, Mom, you're right. You're right. Now that I think about it, you're right. Because what it says what? It says that a soft answer, a soft answer is one that does not upset the other person. Right? A soft answer. We have a problem not allowing the other person to feel good about what they're trying to get across. If you're trying to get across to me that I'm stupid, right? I can let you feel that way and walk away thinking I'm smart. Easy. It's really easy. If you're calling me stupid, and all I do is say, you know what? What you said, I didn't think about. You're right. I did not think about what you just said. I probably need to consider that. Thank you. And if I say it's sincere enough, you know what you're going to say? Oh yeah, you got it now. Because anyone that will listen to you, you think has good sense. The people you think don't have good sense are the people that won't listen to you. They're the ones you can think, this is a crazy thing to be, right? But if anybody listens to you earnestly, your thinking is they're smart because they what? They're listening. Huh? Listen, but see, I can listen to you earnestly and still walk away from what I want to do. True. My mother gives me advice all the time. But here's what I know. I ain't saying she ain't smart and everything. She is. But I went to school too. I will never know everything she knows. But there are things that she will never know that I know. Right. You looking for your mom? Oh, okay.
But sometimes, for instance, what you just said, my daughter is almost 21. And I can tell her something, but of course, she knows it already. What she said, I know, Mom, you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again.
Well, she's
and I tell her, just listen to what I have to say, listen to understand, and not to just respond.
But what if she's right?
I will let her know if she is right.
No. No, that's not what I'm asking you. Okay, let's say you're explaining something to me. You explain it when I say, I know, I got what you're saying. what if I really did get what you said, but just don't agree?
Then that's fine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That maybe when she says, "Mom, I know," she's telling you this. Mom, you did a good job raising me. I understand what you're saying.
Well, she could tell me that. No.
Well, but she didn't read verse 1.
And I'm trying to get her to do just that, to read the Bible more.
No, I'm saying, see, if she had read verse 1, that's what she would say to you. Because she haven't read verse 1, she's just saying, "Mama, I'm grown." That's really what she's saying. "Mama, I'm grown. Mama, you taught me well. Let me go out and make my own mistake."
I came to that conclusion when I only just left her alone. And I said, she'll come when she needs me. She'll let me know.
Well, see, I'm like this with my kids, right? I mean, really, truly. And I'm not saying this just to placate you and make you feel better. I'm being honest with you, okay? I understand something about my children, and that is, I put in them what they need for success. I put it in them. But I also understand that people don't always follow what you put in them. They just don't. So, but it doesn't stop me from putting it in. So if my kids ask me a question, my response would be something like this. If I was in your situation, this is what I would do. However, you're not me. So you have to make the decision for yourself, because you're the one that has to suffer the consequences. Not me. You got to do it. So whatever you do, it's on you. Right, and that's how I approach it with them. Now, because I want them to always feel like I respect their intelligence. And I do. I respect them. They can be dead wrong. But here's what a wise man taught me. There are no bad decisions in life. There are bad supporters of the decision. That anything you decide to do can be successful. As long as people are supporting you in it. If they don't support you, the best decision will fall. Let's say if I decide to rob a bank. Right there. If I decide to rob a bank right now. Right? Now, let me tell you something. Somebody might say, that's a horrible decision. He's going to end up in jail. But if all y'all support me, I can rob the bank and get away with it. You know why? Because y'all going to swear up and down, he was here. He was right. I got 50 people that's going to say, that won't him. It might have looked like it, but that won't him. We got him on video teaching Bible study. And right, I'll give you $2, $3. So again, the point of Solomon is what? Is that what we as human beings, especially as Christians, one of the things you want to focus on is how we use our tongue. Because how you use your tongue can make or break situations. It can make and break people. We oftentimes don't understand the power in our tongue. The more a person respects you, the more damage you can do with your tongue towards them. That's why it's extremely important for parents to understand that when talking to their children. Because you can make them feel like they can never accomplish anything, or you can. I love you all, but let me tell you something. I can tell you that 90% of the women I counsel, mothers have ruined them. 90%. 90% of women I counsel have low self-esteem because of their mothers. Their mothers meant well. Their mothers meant well when they would tell them things like, "Don't you be acting like a whore." Well, Mama, I just wanted to wear a short dress. Girl, that's how whores dress. Don't you be doing X, Y, Z. Don't you do all this, don't you do all that. And so it makes you feel like less than what you are. When people, well-meaning people, make you look in the mirror and not see the beauty that you are because of what they have seen. Because what? You respect your mom. You love your mom. And so when they say stuff, it has an impact on you. My wife older than dirt right now. Older than dirt right now. But you know what? Okay, almost older than dirt right now. But she ain't no spring chicken. I'm putting in perspective. She's just a year younger than me. Okay, now, my point is this. But she still feels the need to make her mother proud. At that age, you done accomplished more than your mother has ever accomplished. And you still feel the need to make her proud. She don't think that way. I know it's sad but true. And see, when you do that, it changes how you feel about you. Because you're constantly trying to make somebody else feel good, feel proud. Yes.
Yes, I have a question. Do you think sometimes that's because, I know with my mom, and you're right, I'm an only child, I'm her only child. So I think is it because they want to live their life again through their daughters sometimes?
I can tell you what I think, but I'm not the best person to give the answer. Reason being because I ain't never been a mom, right? I think that women oftentimes look at their own life and they want more from their daughters than what they had in their own life. And so in doing that, they put all that pressure on you. And that you know, so you feel like maybe I'm not good enough because they keep putting pressure on me, so maybe I'm not good enough. You know.
She's a bit overbearing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's I think that's what it is that I think it's not that they're living vicariously through you, but they just want so much for you. And that's what my father told me about my oldest sister. He said she did not understand what my mother wanted for her. You know, so she thought that my mother's, you know, like you say, overbearingness was because she didn't like her, when it was the opposite. She had so much hope for her.
She saw potential in her.
Yeah, she did. Now, you know, I don't agree with her, but yeah, that's what but I'm just kidding, you know, I'm just kidding. Right? But I'm just saying that the tongue, it has the potential to do. How you doing, man? Everything going on? Good. See, look at these new see how your husband do? They go find their ladies and bring them in. I'm just so proud of them, I don't know what to do. But so I'm just saying to say, you just don't know the power that's in your tongue, right? And that's why we have to be careful, especially when dealing with, you know, our children coming up. And careful with people in general, because it has such a great impact on people. You know, it just does, you know. Okay, all right. Now, I will say this. Listen, I'm working on that. I'm working on that personally. Okay, I'm working on that. I really, truly, she laughs, she don't believe it. But I really am. Because here's what I know about me. I know that I have a short patience with me. I do. My patience with me is short. It is, ain't that right? My patience with me is short, you know, because of what, you know, how I was brought up. See, I was brought up that you can do anything. You can be anybody. You can do anything. You can be anything. You can be all. And so I know how I did things. So for me, it makes me, I had to sometimes remind myself when I'm talking to guys to be less critical, you know, of what I normally am. Because normally when I'm talking to guys, it's like, and so you know, I'm pulling a punch. I think I don't hear that. I don't hear that. You ain't going through nothing.
Tell the man up.
Yeah, I tell him. Yeah, I tell him, man, listen. I tell you, this is what I tell him all the time. Let me tell you something. Don't tell me how hard you work. I was working 2 full-time jobs, teaching college, and going to school, and had a wife and 2 kids. And you working one job and a part-time job, talking like you're doing something. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing. I don't want to hear that. Please. Hey, 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job. 2 of them. Yes, sir.
In that same vein, I'm raising a son, and I think it's very interesting how you say your tongue, how you use it matters. Yeah. So how would you apply raising a son in this time and age? Because I find that I think I'm hard on myself. Because
you know why? I know why. Sergeant Major, that's why. But you know, listen, because see, here's the thing. I realize how powerful my tongue was to my children by the way my father used to do me. Now, my father's a very calm man, very calm man. If you did something wrong, this is what he was doing. Come here, I want to talk to you. He said, come here, I want to talk to you. Right? And your friends be outside playing. He said, come here, I want to talk to you. No, he ain't trying to scare you. No, right. He would sit down and explain to you for about 2.5 hours. One kid be gone. You look at the window. After a while, 2 of them be gone. By the time I finish talking to you, everybody goes away. Well, I might as well stay home now. But what my father always did was he would explain to us in minute detail, why it was important for us to be a certain way. That's how he did. He always just explained. He would always tell us things like this. You have a right to be wrong. That's what he said. He said the issue is not whether or not you can't be wrong. The issue is, can you deal with the consequences of being wrong? That's how he would teach us. He said, in fact, he said, I'm wrong at times. He said, he drove truck, right? He said, I break the speed limit driving, but I also know this: if I get tickets with this vehicle, I lose the job. He said, but nobody tells me I can't speed. Just a consequence for speeding. You know, so that's, and he would tell us that. He said, listen, even like when we were, he gave us a curfew. My father's curfew was 11 o'clock. It was his curfew. Okay, how old you was? Curfew was 11 o'clock. Now 11 o'clock curfew didn't mean you had to be home. Even you couldn't get in the house after 11 o'clock.
Right.
That was it. So he would tell you, I'm gonna get you down late, but you ain't coming in the house. As long as you deal with the consequence of your actions, you know. Even when I got suspended from school, I thought he was gonna get mad. He wasn't mad. He came home and said, "You hungry?" I'm scared now. Yeah. He went in there and cooked me lunch. And I'm worried something's going to really go off in there. He said to me, he said, listen, he said, son, let me tell you something. He said, everybody can't be a doctor. Everybody can't be a lawyer. He said, somebody got to work at McDonald's. He said, somebody got to be a janitor. He said, the issue is not whether or not you be one of those. The issue is, are you that because that's all you can do? He said, if you want to be a janitor, just be the best they can do. He said, but here's one thing I want to let you know, son. You can't stay here without doing either one or two things. Working or going to school. It's your choice, and I'm not mad either way. Guess what I did? Went on back to school like somebody got me sent. But I'm saying, that's what he always did. It was always, let me explain. So that's how I did my son. I didn't spank my son. When my son got kicked out of school for doing something stupid, I ain't spanking. I ain't even get mad at him. I got mad at the principal. Not angry, man, but I was like, because I said to him, why are you sending them home? That's like putting a rabbit in the brown pack. That ain't no punishment. Make him mop the floor. I said, make him mop the floor.
Yeah, make him do something.
Embarrass him. He said, well, Mr. Daniels, we can't do that. Why not? He can't do that. That's cruel to undo your punishment. So sending them home ain't cruel.
So ain't. Oh, he wanted to.
But but that's.
I have a question later, not but once we're done regarding consequences in the choices.
Sure, absolutely. Did I answer your question, by the way? Okay, good. All right. So that that kind of deals with the tongue action, okay? And so he says, what a man have joy by the answer of his mouth, and the word spoken in due season, how good is it? Which is what I'm just saying, right? That what we have to do is formulate our responses such that the people we're talking to want to follow our instructions. And that's why he would explain it in detail. So we would say, that makes sense. So I want to do it. And I mentioned this to some people. I mentioned to most people I counsel. Even when I would do stupid stuff, my father would say this to me: did you learn anything from it? And if I said no, he would say, well, you know what, son? You're going to make that same mistake again. He didn't get mad. He would say, you're going to make that same mistake again. Right? Or he would, so then I would come back and say, well, Daddy, what should I have learned? Then he'll say, no, it's not up to me to tell you what you should have learned. It's up to you to figure it out.
That's right.
So you think about it and come back to me and let's talk. That's how he would do it. He was the wisest man I ever met, and did not get his GED till he was in his 30s. Wise man I ever met. But that's how he did things. And so because of that, every time I would make a stupid mistake, I would sit down and say, what did I do wrong? what did I learn? So now sometimes I would just say, you know what, it was worth it. You know, sometimes you say like, this worth this one right here. But you would sit down and you would analyze and say, you know, boom, boom. You know, but he never got upset and all that kind of thing. He just said, we're gonna learn from you. We're gonna learn from you. You learn from your mistakes, you can be better. His philosophy was that beatings don't work. That's how people are saying about it. Beating. If a whooping would work, nobody would be in jail.
I know that's right.
Lock them up one time, they be out and they be done with it. But they all go back, don't they? 2 or 3 times. Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
I just want to say that this piece here, a wood scorpion due season. Would that be you saying the right thing at the wrong time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? Because what you want to make sure of is what? What you say fits the occasion. Right? In the manner that you say it, right? The tone that you say it, right? And so you can say the right thing the wrong way and folks still upset.
Yes.
Right? And that happens all the time. You know. And that's what I had to work on myself. Right? Because I'll joke you in a minute. And somebody will be upset, and you know, to me it's funny. I mean, they be like, he had the nerve to say that. You know. Like when I was preaching one Sunday, and I said I was preaching about something, I don't remember the exact title. Anyway, so I said somebody else, any holes in the house?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. And then all the emails start flying.
Emails pouring in. A little kid came with me and said, "Ain't no house."
Then why would you say so? Yeah, wow.
But the Bible called them hoes. Well, okay, the Bible called them whores. But I was just using what? The way we pronounce that word.
Right.
We don't pronounce that word whores. When the Bible says they went whoring after other nations. That's what, know what the Bible said?
Yep.
They went whoring after other nations. So I said, any hoes in the house? Because what? There are people that go. There are people that go what? Whoring after other nations. And there are people in the church that do that.
Other gods.
Other gods.
Other gods.
Yeah.
They sure do.
That they worship things that are counter to God.
Right.
And that's what it was referring to. I mean, of course, yeah. So anyway. So y'all got to be careful about the tone, all right? Let's go to verse 3. Verse 3. We're at verse 3 now. We're at verse 3, yeah. Because I didn't hit 3, right?
Right.
So 3 is something that we all, let me say, 3 is also one of them what? That everybody know about, but act like they don't know. Listen, you know it, but you act like you don't know it, right? The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Right now, I know we always say, what happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. Let me tell you something. The Lord is at the MGM Grand.
He's everywhere.
The Lord is at the Red Roof Inn. The Lord goes to the Econo Travel. The Lord is everywhere. You cannot what? Hide from God.
Right.
That's all they're talking about. You can't hide from God. So don't act like because we don't see it, it ain't valid.
Okay? That's right.
And we shouldn't act like because you don't see it, right, it ain't valid.
That's right.
You know, and listen, this is what I was taught by, again, now this is my mother always taught me, you know, especially as a parent. You know, she would say, listen, don't go anywhere that your spouse can't go. Don't go anywhere your children can't go. That's right. It don't mean you want to take them everywhere, but don't go anywhere they can't go. You know, why? Because, you know what? They're going to find out. They going to find out. Let me tell you something right now. I would not want to be Holly Berry's children's because, you know, when she was on that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you know that some little third grader going to say, I saw your mama.
Yeah.
I saw your mama. Because this girl you're in third grade, I mean, you don't watch R-rated movies.
That's right.
You know. I mean, listen, she could do what did y'all come on the ball?
Yes.
Then you got a right to do what you want to do. I know it wasn't a movie to look too real me the movie. I'm just saying, you know, you don't want to do stuff as if people aren't going to see it.
Yeah, they're going to see it later on in life.
See it later on. They're going to find it. you can't hide your stuff from everybody. Somebody watching you. So what Solomon is saying is, live your life as if God is always watching you, because somebody is. Somebody gonna know. Somebody gonna pick up on it. And whoever pick up on it, they're gonna tell somebody.
Always.
Never you can believe it. You can believe that. Now, you know what? Let me see. I'm trying to find an easy one because we ain't got but 5 minutes. Goodness. 5 is going to take me too long. Y'all mind if I skip down to something that's going to be easy?
Yeah, go ahead, Skip.
So let me go down to 14.
14.
Right, we ain't got but 5 minutes.
Okay.
You said, somebody say go to 15?
No, 14.
14. I did 1, 2, 4, 7, 23.
You just did 3.
I did 3.
You did 3.
But if I go to the next one, which would be 5, 5, 10, 12, 31, and 32 are together.
Okay.
Right? And there ain't no way I can go through that in 5 minutes.
No.
I did it right.
Ask you one question.
Yeah, ask your question. It's all right. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. Believe me, he's okay. Let me say this to all the parents and grandparents. Anytime a child is acting their age, it's okay.
It sure is.
It's okay. So I'm saying to all the ushers too.
Yeah.
All right? Anytime a child is acting their age, don't get upset. That's what children do.
That's what they do.
Okay? Yes, ask your question.
This is somewhat pertaining to what you said, your father, the way he talked to you. Now, I was listening to something last night, and basically, is it possible from our choices, the choices that we make, because God gives us choices, God knows, He's the only one that knows everything when our time is up, when we're gonna die.
Right.
So is it possible to make that happen sooner by the choices that we make, even though God already knows the choices that we're gonna make?
Yeah, that's a question right there.
Yeah.
That's a powerful question.
Well, I asked you, my best friend.
Listen, I got the answer.
Okay,
I'm the pastor.
Yes, and I'm like.
So let me repeat the question so they know what you're saying.
Okay.
Her question was simple, and I'm going to do it in a generic fashion, okay? Her question is this. If God is omniscient, which we say He is, right? He's all-knowing. If God is all-knowing, and if God gives you free will, since if God already has established a time, like the Bible says, a time when your end is, your days are numbered, can you change that number?
Nope.
Not by extending it longer, but making it shorter.
Well, either way, right? Either way, I'm doing it generically.
Okay.
Can you extend it, or can you make it shorter?
No. No.
I feel like you can make it shorter.
Well, here's what the Bible says. Honor the days, honor thy father and thy mother, that your days may be long upon the land the Lord thy God giveth thee. Right? That's one instance. I'm going to fix that in a minute, though, okay? Also, the Bible says that there was a king who was about to die. And he prayed, and God what? Extended his time on earth. Right? So one might say, well, because the Bible says it was extended, does that mean that God had changed the time? Well, what does all-knowing really mean?
He already knew.
I already know you're going to ask me.
Right.
I already know the decisions you're going to make. So if I already know the decisions you're going to make, it doesn't mean you don't have free will. Just I know you so well, I know what your free will choice will be. So that's what all-knowing means. So omniscience doesn't mean I don't have free will. It means I know your free will choices. Like, for example, okay, I don't know you that well. However, I know you well enough to know this. That is, if I gave you the choice between $1 million tax-free and $20 tax-free, you're going to take the $1 million tax-free. Right? That's the choice you're going to make. No-brainer. It's a no-brainer to me because I know you, but I know human nature. Right? God knows everything about us. Every hair on our head is numbered, he says. So if he knows everything about you, he knows how your thought processes work. So knowing how your thought processes work, he knows every decision that you will make because of his expansive knowledge. And so can you change the time appointed? Not really, because the appointed time was based on his knowledge of what decisions you would make.
So where that comment from? So why did he make that comment in the Bible? Days may be longer or shorter.
Because he didn't say that God would make them longer or shorter. It says that obey your parents so that your days may be.
Maybe.
Right? Because what is the Bible about? That's the real issue when we look at it, right? The Bible is there for what purpose? Guidance, right? But to tell you something is okay. The Bible is history. It's a history book, right? It's a history book. So if I look at the Bible as a history book that tells me based on history, these are the things that contribute to certain things. You know, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to listen to that verse, because there are folks that still going to cuss their mama out. Who read the Bible? They're going to cuss their mama out, right? But God just knows that everybody is not going to deal with it. He knows which of us are going to honor our mother and our father. He knows which of us going to say, I'm going to argue with my mama, right? And which of us going to say what? Yeah, mama, you're right. Or what? Okay, mama. Okay. Father. Okay. Everybody got that? Does that satisfy everybody's appetite?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then, since y'all full, it's 8 o'clock. God bless you. 8:01.
Oh, Marie.
So isn't it